Hey, this is Steve. It's about 4:30 in the morning, Thursday, October 22nd. I couldn't sleep again. It's one of those things I just feel like I'm going to just have to commit. Half the reason is I just sit there thinking about, hey, this would be a good video idea. This would be a good video idea. Hey, I wonder how you could do that. I get lost in these little scientific thoughts. I was having a long time trying to decide, what I'm passionate about, what things made me happy, midlife identity crisis or whatever, I guess. A lot of other things I should be doing. There's a lot of businesses that are probably a way better idea that I've written down. This one's not a great idea, but I just feel like I have to do it. It's gonna happen. So this is me committing. Gonna start a YouTube channel.
That's better. Hey, my name is Steve. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nerd Snipe. I'm just barely launching it, and I thought I should do a short introductory video just to let you guys know who I am and what I do and why you should listen to me. And as you can see from the intro video, I am zero-based, so if you've ever actually had an opinion on that, well, then you might be in the right spot. And I graduated from the University of Utah in electrical engineering at the end of 2009. And ever since then, I've worked for the US government as an Air Force civilian doing design work on the F-16s. So I can tell you right now, starting a YouTube channel is a bad idea. As of the last time I counted, there was 32 million channels or thereabouts, and only 16,000 of those are what I would consider successful. People that have a million subscribers or more is really the baseline for when you can start saying, okay, maybe I could turn this into a full-time gig for myself. And the problem is that if you do that, well, you might make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per video, but then you got to turn around and reinvest all that money to make the next viral hit. And so it's absolutely not a great idea. There's millions of better businesses that you could start than a YouTube channel. But I'm going to do it anyways. So I'm not going to lie to myself, and I know this is going to be hard. I just barely had my fourth kid, so it's not exactly like sleep is abundant right now, nor is my free time. And it takes a whole vast skill set to be able to run a YouTube channel. I've run lots of software, but I've never been a video editor before. I've never done anything with studio lighting, and while I had a camera and a cell phone and have done some pro audio, there's a lot of other things that go into making a YouTube video, from trying to research licensing agreements to being able to get everything set up in the studio and the lighting, and the list just goes on. And you're competing against these people that have 20+ man crews, even on the YouTube channels now. And so people like Mr. Beast, they come with everything all ready to go. And so without a doubt, it's going to be a challenge. But right now I'm currently over 40 people in engineering, and I can tell you that making the switch to management is not a whole lot of fun. I made the mistake of letting them pay for an MBA for me. So if you're an engineer, don't you ever do that yourself. It's a lot less fun, and it does add a lot of stress to your life. So in the past, I always thought that YouTube was this place that you went to watch a funny cat video, or maybe you were listening to some music that you just barely heard a new song and wanted to show your friend, or watch the music video, or maybe you just came off of anesthesia and you wanted to get your 15 minutes of fame doing that. That's really all that I thought YouTube was. And for myself, where I went for my entertainment, I was reading a lot of websites and blogs, just kind of scrolling through the news. Some of the ones that I went to more frequently that were a little bit more centric to things you might see on this channel, where I loved going and listening to TED Talks, just learning something new. And I went to XKCD approximately every day, and even though he doesn't post every single day, I found myself there checking it when I got to work while everything else was loading up. And I was reading a lot of Wait But Why, and I like to watch Nova, those types of things. So those were kind of what I got my entertainment from. But one day as I was on YouTube, the algorithm recommended to me something that I said, oh, that looks pretty cool actually. And so I think it was Mark Rober's World's Biggest Super Soaker. And as I watched it, it was like, hey, that's pretty cool. He built this thing. But beyond that, he was like, hey, so click on the link below for my CAD files and you can do this yourself. And Mark Rober's style, he'll always tell you, he tries to present you something interesting, and then out of the side he'll come and sneak attack and give you some science on the side so that you're learning something. And so there I was learning new things, and also being able to be entertained. And so between those two things, that's really what I want to accomplish on my channel. And I was getting it there on YouTube, and I just kind of ate it up. I'd be folding laundry and I'd say, let's turn on some Mark Rober, and I'd start watching. And I think by far my favorite thing from him is the liquid sand hot tub. And I can't say by far because there's so many good things that he's produced. But from there, the algorithm, it said, hey, well, you like this, maybe you'll like this other guy, Smarter Every Day. And so I started watching Destin on Smarter Every Day, and because of that, I was getting smarter every day. But very different style, still great, phenomenal content. And I started going through that, and it recommended, hey, well, you might like this Veritasium guy as well. And so I started watching Veritasium, and on and on and on. There's dozens of YouTube channels that are just fantastic. And I'll put some of my favorites here, and you can peruse those if you choose. And I'll probably fit right in line with all those that I'm recommending, because that's what's captured my interest, and that's what I see value in doing myself. So what exactly is getting nerd sniped? Well, if you've read XKCD, you might have seen this webcomic here before. But basically what being nerd sniped is I used to call it going down the bunny hole. It's when you get a piece of information or a new problem or a new question or something pops up in front of you, and you just have to find out the answer. You have to focus all of your attention on that thing. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to get back to what you're supposed to be doing. And so for me, I found that the faster that I dig into that subject, whatever it is, the faster I'm going to be able to get back on topic and get my focus back where it should be. And so getting nerd sniped is when you have to shift your focus to this new problem. And in this case, in the webcomic, you shift your focus so hard that you end up getting hit by a bus while you're walking through a crosswalk because you're not paying attention to what's going on around you. And it's just when you have to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and sometimes you might start off by reading a Wikipedia article about some element of science, and you find yourself learning something about Russian spy satellite by the time you're done with it. And so that's what getting Nerd Sniped is. So for about a year now, I've been writing down all the ideas that I've been having for what would make a good YouTube video. And because of that, I now have hundreds of ideas written down on Post-its, whether it's something that I came up with in the middle of the night and couldn't sleep, or whether it's something that distracted me at work that I just had to write down so that I could stop thinking about it and focus on what I was supposed to be doing. Or, just at home thinking of fun ideas, or watching a YouTube video, or doing something with the kids. And that's really what I want to do on this channel is start experiencing some of those, whether it's scientific or things to build or things to do, maybe set some world records. But I want to make sure that you leave making sure that you felt entertained, and that you've learned something new, that I've brought value to your life. And maybe you can start thinking about things differently, or I could be, somebody like Steve Mould, who now has entire problems named after him. And whether that happens or not, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the family, and you just got Nerd Sniped.
Angie's not going to like that.